off, use a 22mm socket to take the lug nuts off. Pull the wheel off. Before we take the caliper off, I'm going to loosen this bolt up, use an 11mm socket. This goes to the brake hose. Just crack it free. It's also a good idea to double check your brake fluid level in the master cylinder and make sure it's filled up so that you don't lose too much brake fluid when you're swapping that over. Take these two bolts out, use an 18mm socket. Slide those out. Now slide the caliper out. You can use a pry tool or screwdriver. Pry this out a little bit. Slide it off. Then use a caliper hanger and find somewhere to hang it from. Pull the brake pads off. Take these two bolts out of the caliper bracket, use a 21mm socket. Take those out and slide the bracket right off. Take the new caliper bracket off the caliper, use an 18mm socket. To make this easier, just put a lug nut on the rotor, just so it doesn't move around, makes it easier. Slide the caliper bracket over the rotor. Take the bolts. If you want, you can put a little thread lock adhesive on the bolts. Get those started. Torque these bolts to 221 foot-pounds. Install the brake pads. Slide the brake caliper over the brake pads. Take the bolts. If there's not a lot of grease on the slide pins, then put some grease on there. Get those started. Torque these to 80 foot-pounds. Now take the old brake caliper and take this hose off. Make sure you have a bucket underneath just to grab any fluid. And there's some seals on here. There's one on each side of the hose. Make sure the seal's not on that side. So you gotta take this seal off and replace it. Take that off. Make sure this is all nice and clean. It's a good idea to replace this if you can. Take one seal, goes on one side. Then it goes through the hose. Make sure this is nice and clean as well. And take the other seal, it goes on the other side. And then thread it into the caliper. With another helper pumping the brake pedal for you, you're gonna have, with all the bleeders closed, have them pump the brake pedal. Go ahead, pump the brake pedal. Nice and slow. Use a 10mm wrench. Just crack it free. And tighten this down. And torque this to 30 foot-pounds. Once you notice fluid coming out of the bleeder screw, we will snug this up and then we're going to bleed the brakes. To make it a little quicker, you can take the cap off the brake master reservoir and just snug it up. With another helper pumping the brake pedal for you, you're going to have, with all the bleeders closed, have them pump the brake pedal. Go ahead, pump the brake pedal. Nice and slow. Tell me when you start feeling that there's a pedal. All right, so normally it's about after 5 times. All right, hold it. Now just make sure you have a tray or a pan. Catch the brake fluid. And then close it up. All right, pump it again. Pump it 3 times. And then hold it. Oops. And there's a little bit of air in there. Go ahead, pump it again 3 times, nice and slow. And hold it. While they're holding, open it one more time. A little bit of air, so we'll do it one more time. All right, go ahead, pump it again. And hold it. And it looks nice and clean, no air. You can close it up, snug that up. And you can do the same on any other calipers that you replaced.